Hi everybody, it's me, Mrs. Carter, and I wanted to read you a special story that I wrote a long time ago for my students. It's called Happy Accidents, and it's about when you make a mistake, figuring it out and not ruining your art, throwing it away and saying it's all done, I can't do this anymore. It's about trying again and turning it into something new. I read a longer version of this story to my students previously last week, but I'm going to shorten the book for you guys today because this book is more for 3rd and 4th grade. And so if I take out the back of the book, it's a great story for littles. And so I'm going to read this one to you today, and then we're going to make a little happy accident doodle together. Here is my story, Happy Accidents. If you see her in the hallway, you can always recognize Mrs. Honeydew. She almost floats when she walks by. She is a small woman, but she has a big personality. Mrs. Honeydew smells like flowers and paint. She wears crazy, bright outfits with paintbrushes and feathers in her hair. She always wears a patterned apron covered in paint. Mrs. Honeydew even wears necklaces made from colored pencils and rings made out of crayons. She looks like a work of art. What do you think? Does she look like a work of art to you? One day, Mrs. Honeydew drops pencil shavings on a gluey paper when she is cleaning up. She's about to throw it away when she takes a second look and sees the beginning of something beautiful. Ta-da! She proclaims, turning around to show everyone. A work of art! Your pencil shavings make an interesting texture, and they show off all the hard work you do in the art room. A texture is the way something feels when you touch it. Plus, it's a great way to recycle. Happy accident! Whenever she creates, she celebrates her mistakes. Mrs. Honeydew loves getting inspiration, and the pencil shaving happy accident was just the beginning. That same night in her studio, she glued pencil shavings in all different ways and adds beautiful colors on top. It looks like something spectacular is growing on her art. That's that texture I was telling you about. It looks like you could, if you touched it, it would have a feeling. It would feel maybe bumpy or rough. That has a really cool texture, doesn't it? Mrs. Honeydew uses happy accidents to make things special. Instead of getting frustrated, she lets her imagination transform them into works of art. Mrs. Honeydew says, there's no right or wrong in art. There's many ways to solve a problem. She fills her art class with energy while singing, dancing, and twirling around the room. Sometimes her artists listen and look at beautiful art and learn about faraway places. Mrs. Honeydew loves to get inspiration from famous artists. This is a famous painting by an artist named Edward Munch, and he kept having bad dreams. And so he decided he didn't want to have these bad dreams anymore. So he made art about it, and it made him feel better. Isn't that cool that art can make you feel better? I hope that you've been feeling better making all your beautiful creations too. One day, a new student named Sasha joins the class. Mrs. Honeydew shows her what they are learning in art. If you make a mistake, turn it into a happy accident. Every time Sasha draws something, she gets frustrated and erases it. By the time Mrs. Honeydew comes back over, tears are streaming down Sasha's face. I want a new paper, Sasha sobs. Don't worry, Mrs. Honeydew says. Let's turn each mistake into something new. Sasha tries, but she feels like it's getting worse and worse. Does that ever happen to you? Happens to me too. It happens to everybody. It just means that you're a real artist. Mrs. Honeydew sits down beside her. When something doesn't turn out the way that you had planned, you can make it into a happy accident. Instead of throwing your creation away, take a deep breath and look at it again and keep trying. But Sasha wants it to be perfect. The next day in art, Mrs. Honeydew sprinkles imaginary dust on everyone. We are going on an adventure. Do you want to join Mrs. Honeydew in the story? Let's go on an adventure with her. So when she shares what's happening, I want you to join in with me. Are you ready? Okay. Now close your eyes. Are you closing your eyes? Close your eyes. This dust will give you wondrous wings. Open your eyes. Look at all my friends in the book. They grew wings. So cool. Now close your eyes again and picture these wings growing on your back. A fresh breeze fills the room as she opens the windows. Are your eyes closed? Feel your wings grow on your back. Fly out the window, flapping your wings harder and harder, soaring up. Look down below at the tops of the trees as you go higher and higher. See the clouds surround you as you fly in the sky. Now swoop down, and when you land, you will be at a special place that is happy and beautiful. This is a place that is always in your mind. When you feel frustrated, angry, or sad, close your eyes to calm yourself down, Mrs. Honeydew explains. After everyone returns from their adventure, they write stories describing all the details and begin to draw pictures to show where they went. Sasha loves to write stories and she can't wait to share her special place with Mrs. Honeydew. So boys and girls, I want you to think of this special place that you just had in your brain, in your imagination, as your happy place. And no matter what's going on, you can always go back to your happy place. You can close your eyes and you can imagine your special place. Now, your special place does not have to be a real place. It can be a made-up place, or it could be a mixture of places. Maybe it's your bedroom, but the wall in your bedroom isn't there anymore and you can see the ocean. Or maybe you're floating in the sky. Your happy place can be anywhere you want. After finishing their stories, they paint illustrations with watercolors. Mrs. Honeydew sings in a silly voice. Water, paint, puddle, paper. Wash your brush when you get a new color. She gets so enthusiastic that she dances along as she sings, waving her arms in the air. She still has the paintbrush in her hand and paint splashes all over the example. Oops! Happy accident! She turns all of the splashes into little flowers. Sasha is amazed at how quickly Mrs. Honeydew turns her accident into something special. Now here's the part of the book that adds a little bit more that I'm going to shorten for you because this would be really perfect as an ending point for kindergarten. So we're going to go to the very last page. If you want to see all these pages in between, if you really enjoyed this story, I have on my website, mrscartersartstudio.weebly.com, a YouTube video with this whole entire story. So if you're interested, you can go watch it again and see the whole book, or you can do the shorter version with me today. Sasha keeps making mistakes, but now she knows how to turn them into something spectacular. Life is full of mistakes, and when you figure out how to turn them into something different, something special, you have made a happy accident. I wonder what your next happy accident will be. So let's make our own happy accident. We're gonna make a happy accident doodle. So I'm gonna draw a line on my paper and I'm gonna close my eyes when I draw it. Maybe a family member can draw you a scribble or a doodle on your paper, and your job is to turn it into something new, something special. And you don't have to know what it's gonna be. It could be anything. It could be just lines and shapes and colors, or you could try to turn it into something. I don't know what I'm gonna make. Let's see.